Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the podcast. I am joined here with.
Do we have to speak this close to the microphone the whole time?
No, it's just so that the sound can come through better.
Right. Yeah. My name's Jacob.
And today we'll be discussing Rise of Skywalker and the Mandalorian.
And the Mandalorian, exactly. Yes.
Where should we start? Like, which one do you want to start on?
I want to start on the Rise of Skywalker.
Okay. Yeah.
Because I have. I'll explain this. I feel better about the Mandalorian than I do Rise of Skywalker, so I want to, end it off with a bit of
a bit of a high. Okay.
Yeah. But first, before we do that, I thought we'd go through some pop culture news, just kind of talk about some stuff. A lot of this relates to Star Wars, actually.
Yeah.
So first off, Oscar Isaac blames the Disney overlords for no Finn and Poe romance.
Yeah.
Which I can kind of see. Did you notice, this isn't really a spoiler, but when we talk about Rise of Skywalker, at the end there was like a homosexual kiss between two women.
Yeah.
And they kind of just like snuck it in there. It does seem like they kind of, they don't seem homophobic, but there is a real lack of that kind of diversity.
No, I think, because a lot of people were, you're having a, I think that, they had a lot of a lack of, I felt, because throughout the whole movie, I just thought, are these guys going to, like even, I'll say as a spoiler, this is going to be very spoiler heavy, but even when he was sinking into the sand with Rey, he's like, I need to tell you something. I thought he was going to say, what he was actually going to tell her is that he had a thing for Poe.
Oh.
That's what I actually thought. But
I love Poe.
Yeah. But it actually, in the end, apparently he was just going to mention that he's a little force sensitive.
Okay,
that's what I found out. That's what I found out what it was going to say.
See, that annoys me because they never explained that.
No.
We never get the... I just assumed he was going to say, I love you. I love Rey.
Yeah. That's what I thought, yeah. But
looking back, it does make more sense that you would talk about his connection to the Force. We're well into spoilers.
Yeah. Already, jumped in, but,
Yeah. No, because that's one of the things that really kind of annoyed me about this film is the Finn storyline, which we'll talk about later, but they never really bring... They never say what he's going to talk about.
No.
And they never really kind of
tie
a bow around
the whole...
Finn and Rey's relationship.
Yeah, because the whole rest of the movie, I'm like, what was he going to talk about?
Yeah.
What was he going to say?
I watched Force Awakens recently, kind of leading up to this. Yeah. The chemistry between Finn and Rey is amazing in that movie.
Oh, yeah.
And I was so rooting for them. And they were split up in The Last Jedi, which is fine.
Yeah, that's
alright. Rey
Rey
develops his relationship with Kylo, and I know people ship that. That wasn't alright. They had chemistry too. But I was still...
I want to bring up that later.
Yeah,
anyway.
we'll talk about that later.
Because
I have a lot of things to say about that.
I was the only one in the cinema that would not stop laughing after that happened. The whole cinema was dead silent. Then when it happened, I just laughed, and everyone looked at me like, what are you laughing about?
Oh, man.
I'm like, you do not know.
Do you want to talk about that now? Because...
Yeah, why the fuck did they kiss? What was the whole... I can understand... Okay, I can understand, the connection that they had with, the Force and everything and all that. They're passing through and they have a bit of an emotional bond, but... When he revived her, and then he's just, goes right in. I'm like... What the hell? I could not stop laughing. I'm like, all the Reylo fans are gonna, now explode. It was just... Oh, my God.
But, yeah, there was a moment... So he revived... So... for those who haven't seen, still listening for some reason.
I'm sure everyone's seen it by now.
Yeah. So she dies, essentially, because she used too much Force energy or whatever. And then he comes back, and because she healed him before with her Force energy, I guess he also has the power to do it. Maybe he just figured it out. Which I didn't hate that he would know how to do that. He's very, very strong in the Force.
I think... I would just say about the Force revival stuff, I think it would have made more sense to release... Because didn't that episode of The Mandalorian...
Yes.
When Yoda revived him, that came after...
I think that was actually released before. But
you think it was released before?
A lot of people didn't watch it till after.
No, but what I'm saying, if that happened first, I think everyone would be more comfortable with the revival stuff.
Yeah, they maybe should have pushed it up, make it a week further or something. But I think I actually saw Rise of Skywalker pretty late into the game, so I saw it about a week or so after I saw the episode of Mandalorian. I didn't really connect those two.
Yeah, no, I remember...
I kind of forgot about that Force healing stuff. I also thought it would have made more sense if... Because we first see it when Rey's healing the snake thing in the desert, and it has a big 3 gashes in its skin, and she heals it. I kind of, when I was watching it, I saw it as, oh, she's closing the wound and thus saving his life, like stopping him from bleeding out or just kind of healing him. But then I'm like, oh, that's not too far-fetched. And then she kind of goes, oh, I gave it some of my force energy. And I don't know, I know most people are okay with that, but when watching that, I was like, is that possible?
It's funny because I saw a meme where it had Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon Jinn. When Qui-Gon's like dead,
yeah.
he's like Obi-Wan, revive me, and then Obi-Wan's like, wait, what, Master?
Yeah, there are so many other moments where that could be used.
It's like, I mean, we've seen kind of revival, I guess, in like, you know, Darth Maul, how he was like still alive after he got. Yeah. It was like the Force was keeping him alive.
Yes.
It's like this isn't really something totally new, but still, it's like the way it's being used is new.
And frankly, the reason I'm willing to buy the fact that she can do that and Kylo can do that and Darth Maul can do that is because they are very, very strong with the Force.
Yeah, they are.
Compared to, say, Obi-Wan in Phantom Menace, he was just a Padawan, pretty much, essentially.
But I also have another theory with Kylo and Rey, which I do want to bring up later on. But I want us to go back to the whole
the kiss?
Yeah. I don't want to go back to the kiss yet. I just want to go back to the Finn and Poe stuff.
Right, okay, yeah.
Because I feel like we left that a bit. The chemistry between the three, Poe, Finn, and Rey, I felt was so like heavily forced in this one.
Right, okay.
Like when they're all arguing and stuff, it's like the lines were almost like if you looked at the script, I reckon the lines would have been just like, you say this and then this backfires that and this goes that and this goes that, and just to like drag it on, and it's like that's it.
Right.
So I kind of felt like Poe almost with Finn and Rey, it was like, oh yeah, this chemistry's fun, but when Poe's thrown in, it's like, what are you really here for? Like, there's no real like connection to. There's a connection. Are you saying
to Finn. If it was like less natural, kind of?
Yeah, it felt very It didn't feel natural at all. Right. But then again, there is a time jump. Yes. So I guess things could have evolved over time. But then again, I still feel like they kind of almost just met in a way. Because they only just met in The Last Jedi, like at the end.
How long is the time jump between Last Jedi and...
I have no clue. That hasn't really... I don't know if it's been released. I mean, you could look it up right now and see. Force Awakens was Finn... I feel like Finn's the only real... He's the only real interesting character I feel the most out of everyone.
I mean, in The Force Awakens, he was my favourite character. I felt like he was one of the most interesting characters. But I don't think The Last Jedi and Rise of Skywalker have really done anything with that. Yeah. I think that is the main flaw of both of those movies. I quite like The Last Jedi. And also, I quite like this movie. I don't think...
Oh, yeah.
I personally don't think it deserves the
hate that it's getting.
Intensity of the hate it's getting. Like, I can understand...
I feel the same too.
I can understand why people maybe don't like it. But it's just it's getting bombarded with
it's getting so much hate. And I'm like, just chill out, people, you know?
But, the thing that disappointed me like the most in this movie, there's two things, I think. We'll get back to one of them later, but the first thing is Finn's character arc is essentially non-existent.
No, not at all.
There's a bit of it near the end where he stays on the Star Destroyer to destroy the officer and whatever, but and it's kind of like, it's a nice moment of his killing his past and choosing who he wants to be, which is relative to the message in this movie. But it's only really shown at the very end. Like, I feel they could have lent deeper into that earlier in the film. Like, they could have introduced that kind of character arc earlier in the film. Because I think that's an interesting message.
Yeah. I do also want to talk about, because you mentioned Officer, I also want to talk about General Hux. That's a very interesting thing, and I think they could have played so much more with it. But I want to bring that up a little later, because I want to finish the topic with Finn, because...
Yes. I couldn't find the time jump.
That's okay. With his like relationship with Poe, I feel like that was a lot more explored in The Last Jedi, and I definitely thought there was actually big homosexual vibes when he comes out in the
the weird,
back to tub suit thingy, and then when he sees Poe, I feel like there was just a bit of like a connect. Like there seemed to be like when they looked at each other, there seemed to be quite a kind of like that's what I kind of felt when it was they were both on screen during The Last Jedi, and I actually feel like they were actually I think, really hinting it in The Last Jedi. But I think in The Rise of Skywalker, they're like, yeah, they're just BFFs, you know. They're just real, you know, boy kind of, you know. Real...
That's interesting. I didn't get that as much in The Last Jedi. I kind of just got the feeling that they were like good powers, good. They're very, the way they act towards each other is very kind of stereotypical high testosterone guy best friends. You know, like they're slapping each other on the back. Like,
it's like
measuring their muscles in the Predator or whatever.
It's like that kind of thing I can see, but I do want to say in The Force Awakens, because when all the stuff leading up to The Force Awakens, when we got that poster of the three of them, Poe, Finn, and Rey, I'm like, oh, there's the
trio.
There's the trio. You got Rey is pretty much like essentially Luke Skywalker's like, you know, she's the Jedi. Finn's like the mixture between, I feel, Han Solo and
Princess Leia
kind of thing. But then you got Poe, who's like a mixture between like, I feel, Han Solo and Luke, because he's the pilot.
Yes. Yeah,
so I kind of felt like, oh, Poe's gonna have a lot of involvement in this, and then you see him in The Force Awakens. Because I don't really know their names all so well. When I walked into The Force Awakens, I was like, oh, this guy's getting a lot of attention. Poe was getting a lot of a lot of attention, a lot of screen time. Like, oh, this guy seems to be fairly important. Who is he? Was he in the? I remember seeing a pilot once in the poster for Force Awakens, but I don't know. I didn't really know who he was. And then it's like this. It's like he's meant to be the third guy. I'm like, he didn't feel like that at all in The Force Awakens.
No.
He felt like he was the extra, or not the extra. I mean, like he felt like he was.
Felt like a Rose level character.
Yeah, that's how I felt with him in The Force Awakens. Then in The Last Jedi, they did a lot more with him, and I did enjoy that. But Rise of Skywalker, he definitely has a lot more spotlight.
I really liked him in The Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah, I like him a lot more in that.
I think he has a good character arc with him kind of measuring up to Leia and just realizing he doesn't have to do it by himself.
Yeah.
I think they don't really emphasize that as much towards the end. Like when he goes to tell Finn, there's that moment where they both have to tell each other something, and he's like, I want you to be the general with me, like run this with me.
You should have gone, hey, I want you to be my boy, my boyfriend. That's what I thought he was gonna say.
Let's be friends, like with benefits.
Yeah. That's what I thought. Like that's was gonna happen. But...
And then like Finn's kind of like, oh, I've got something. Oh, thank you, by the way. And then they never really touch on that.
Yeah.
I feel like that should have been more of a pivotal moment.
I mean, because there were heaps of like so many like aliens and characters, like they're all hugging and kissing and stuff, and it's like they're both the same gender. You're like, why can't you just do that with the main people? I think because I feel like Disney was like almost too afraid.
Yes.
In some way.
I agree that there's a chance Disney could be. I mean, Oscar Isaac said Disney overall could have been too afraid, but I also, because I never saw it like that, I didn't mind as much. I was fine with them just being friends.
If you can have a Mary Sue, surely you can just have like a bloody
gay relationship.
Yeah, gay relationship. Yeah. Like honestly, if you got like the feminist, real main, but like over the top in The Last Jedi,
I think
I didn't feel as much in The Rise of Skywalker that was really heavily implied.
That what was
about Rey being quite, you know, the Mary Sue, like the strong woman, like over the top.
She is very powerful, but I justify that with the time jump because I do feel like there is a great time jump.
But I have another justification which I want to bring in now is that okay, if you look at the prequels and stuff, and you look at all the Jedi in the past. They were, because in the Clone Wars, when you watch it, there's like a couple episodes of the training the Jedi and like the little kids, and there's actually that one episode where they take kids. I mean, it's a bit full on. The Jedi Order is a very. I also want to touch on the Jedi Order because I feel like it restricted a lot of things which were explored later on down the line, but they kidnapped individual children that were reported to have Force sensitivity.
Yep.
The parents didn't really. It was like the one in a million. Not 1 in a million, I would say. Like 1 in a few. Yes. That would have Force sensitivity, and it was just the individual. Rey and Kylo are actually generation. They're actually like...
Yes, it's more a genetic...
Bringing down. And that's what I feel is the justification. I think the justification they were heading for, in my personal opinion, that the reason they were so strong... And they're able to do this like Force connection, that they're able to be in the same spot and this and that, and have because they're essentially like max level Jedi because they've got the genes. Like, what if their children have it? What are they gonna be like? What powers will they uphold? And since Rey is like a Palpatine, I mean, like the highest Sith Lord, like one of the strongest. And the Sith is different because each time the way that the Sith transfer is, once they kill you, you get their once the apprentice kills the master, they get the power.
Yes. Yep.
So that is traveling down. So that's why my justification for why, because everyone's like, oh, Emperor Palpatine's not as strong as this guy and this guy back from the Old Republic days.
Right.
But he is, because he is like the lineage. His power from all the others has been passed on through him.
Yeah.
So he's really bloody strong.
Yeah, and
I think the same is for the others, because they are Luke. Like that's Anakin's genes. He's a creation of the Force, as the theory goes. Like he was created by Palpatine and others. We won't get too much into that because that is still heavily theory wise. But it's Anakin, Luke, Leia. Leia's got the Force. Leia brings it into Han, and that they create Kylo. It's like he's got 3 huge.
Yeah. With the top being Anakin.
Yeah, with the top being Anakin, yeah. So he's very strong, I feel, and that's my justification. And then with Rey, it's Palpatine. He's like, number top thing. But...
And Kylo's also essentially been trained by Palpatine, because Palpatine created Snoke, who trained Kylo. So Palpatine essentially trained Kylo. And and everyone complains a lot about how powerful Rey is in this movie.
She's been trained by Leia.
Yeah, she's been trained by Leia.
Yeah.
There's a time jump. She's been trained by Luke. She's the granddaughter of Emperor Palpatine.
Yeah.
I feel like that should be justification enough for why she's so powerful.
Yeah, and all the others, like, if you go from Mace Windu and all them and stuff, and people say, oh, they're more powerful and stuff. No, they were just individuals picked.
Yeah.
They were just individuals picked that were just strong with the Force.
Yeah, I mean,
and the same goes for
they
Yoda.
had better training, but they weren't as strong in the Force as, the generational Jedi.
And I think the thing is, I feel like the Jedi Order almost was trying to restrict that.
Yes, right.
Because I don't think they
Because most of them weren't generational.
Yeah, and I think... Because the Jedi Order, I think the Jedi Order was extremely corrupt.
Oh, yeah, it's corrupt as all hell.
It's
I agree.
And that is probably one of the factors why the Jedi one is powerful to prevent the Sith from coming back, is because their whole system that was changed. Because I think it was a little different during the Old Republic days, but I don't know so much about the lore of that. But it was very different to what it became. And you can heavily see that in the prequels, how they're just like... they say they're peacekeepers and all, but all they do is just sit around in like a council. Jedi are actually warriors.
Yeah.
They're warriors. Yeah. Even though they turn themselves into almost like political people. And then that's also influenced through the Clone Wars. And it was all deceptions from the... What always troubles me and makes me go, the Clone Wars was such a waste, is because the bad guy was on both sides. It's like, what a shocking war.
Palpatine's a good villain, but I never understood what he was trying to get at with that whole Clone Wars era.
Yeah.
Because he's already so powerful. Like,
I think he just wanted to find a way to break the Jedi, but also make him feel more, like, have more control over the whole wide spread of the galaxy.
Yeah, I guess. And I guess the point of the clones was so he could have his army. But then
he's also got his army with the Separatists.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a confusing thing, and but I do like how Palpatine's the... Everyone doesn't really like it. People want some more new stuff with the sequels, like a new villain. Yeah, right. But I actually generally enjoy, for the Skywalker saga, that the main villain the whole time was Palpatine.
I would enjoy that, except it's
definitely a throwaway at the end.
It's obvious to me that they never planned that for this trilogy.
No, they didn't. And I actually saw an interview with J.J. Abrams saying he actually just wanted to kick off something and then have everyone have a collaborative effort to do it. And then Rian Johnson comes out and he's like, well, I'm just going to completely subvert everyone's expectations. I'm going to go extremely ballsy with this one. And and I also...
And leave.
And then just leave. And then Colin Trevorrow's like, I don't know what to do now. I'm going to leave as well. And J.J. Abrams like, I got to fucking fix this now. But...
I mean, if you set up a collaborative effort, you have to be prepared for other people's... You can't just be like, oh, why didn't you do what I wanted to do?
Yeah. I mean, but J.J. Abrams was like, I the whole time just wanted to start something. He's actually pretty good at starting something.
Yeah, he is.
Because the Star Trek films, he directed the first one, right? But did he do the others?
He did Into Darkness, I know. I think someone else did Beyond.
I heard Into Darkness wasn't the best.
No, I can't remember much of it, but I think
I'm not much of a Star Trek person, but
most of the critiques is just it's kind of a lamer remake of one of the older movies, Wrath of Khan.
Yeah.
But he is a good filmmaker, and I also think, I mean, this is all kind of with the benefit of hindsight. Like, at the time, after Force Awakens, I would have been like, yes, Rian Johnson doing Last Jedi. Yeah. I love Rian Johnson. But looking back now, like all these years later, I think it would have been better to have J.J. Abrams have his own trilogy, because he clearly had his own idea of where all these characters were going to go.
Is Rian Johnson still doing his own trilogy? Is that still in the works?
I think that's still in the works, yes.
Yeah. He should have just saved everything for that, but anyway.
I think his trilogy might be more out of the Skywalker saga, though.
I think that's where he should be going.
Yeah.
I don't want us going back to the Skywalker saga.
No, I think that's done.
That's what I also want to bring out, is the best movie out of the new slate was Rogue One, in my opinion.
Okay. Out of all the 5 new movies?
Yeah, out of all the 5 new movies, my favourite out of them all was Rogue One. Because
it was so, like, far from the Skywalker saga?
I just think it's because it filled in a gap. Or it filled in a gap that is so unexplored. It's 20 years between Revenge of the Sith and A New Hope, and there's so much you can fill in there. Yep. I want to know so much, because I mean, and also Jedi Fallen Order is so cool. Like, I haven't played the game, but I've pretty much seen everything about it, and it's like, this is the most richest and interesting time period, because like, because Fallen Order is set 5 years after the Clone Wars, after Revenge of the Sith, I mean. Essentially the Clone Wars, yeah. And it's interesting because everyone thought that, you know, like, I find it interesting how, like, I thought clones were used all the way up to, like, A New Hope, because in the Legends in A New Hope, the stormtroopers that attack the Tantive 4, they're clones, they're 501st, and the ones that are also on the Death Star are 501st, and on the Battle of Hoth are 501st. Everywhere else they're not. Right. But they're already kicked out 5 years in. Yeah. You've got a huge army of clones, and they just completely get thrown out 5 years in. It's like, okay, this is interesting new lore. I'm like, you could have used these guys, kept going, but no, I just find it interesting, that whole time period. And Rogue One's just, it's the best Suicide Squad. Yeah, I mean,
it really is.
I also want to bring in another thing about The Last Jedi, and then I want us to fall over to Mandalorian, if you're okay with doing that.
Yep, I still have a lot more to say on Rise of Jedi. So, Rise of
Skywalker. It should be the Rise of the Jedi. It shouldn't be called Skywalker, because that bloody end throwaway line where it's like, "Yep, Skywalker." But I was okay with that.
Liked it.
You liked it?
Yeah, I liked it. I like the idea that
she wants to identify herself as that.
Well, I just like the idea that you can choose who you want to be. It doesn't matter who you were, but you can choose who you are, and it kind of negates The Last Jedi's message of, like, you don't have to be someone special to be special. Yeah,
that's what Skywalker, like, the whole idea with Luke Skywalker. Mark Hamill was so pissed off with Rian Johnson. He was so angry with what he did with him. He was. I saw a whole interview, well, not an interview, but I saw an article, and he was like, I was not overly happy with what my character became, but...
Which is a testament to him, because he was amazing in that movie.
Yeah, he was so good.
As like, a testament to him as an actor. Yeah. Like, he really took that part. He did well with it.
He was one of the strongest. Oh, he was the strongest part of that movie. And I liked it when he came back in the Rise of Skywalker.
I did like, he stops the lightsaber.
Yeah.
It's like, you should treat this with more respect. It's like,
And I'm like, no, that flowed okay. I think he actually, because once he had that discussion with Yoda, I think a lot of the way he thought just changed. Which I kind of was like, no, he's different now. He actually had an arc.
Yeah, and I did like in this movie how she's like, I'm doing what you did, I'm destroying the Jedi or whatever. He's like, I was wrong. Like, it shows that he actually learned something from the last movie.
Yeah. He's like, the Jedi still need to continue.
Yeah.
But I would like to bring that back up, but just to finish what I was saying with...
Suicide Squad.
Suicide Squad.
My biggest problem with Rise of Skywalker is the retconning they did.
Yeah.
And, like, I knew they did it going in, like, I kind of just expected it, so I didn't have as much of a problem watching it. But looking back, that is the most disappointing of the aspect of the film for me. Particularly, you know, Rey being a Palpatine. I think that just... it discredits everything said in The Last Jedi. And Kylo's like, well, you are a nobody because they chose to be nobody.
Yeah.
Like, just because, I mean, that guy was the son of the Emperor. Like, that's not a nobody.
That's like the bloody... That's the dude. That's the person. That's the most well-known name.
Think of Space Hitler and the guy who trains him. This is the son of that guy.
Yeah.
He's not a nobody.
The thing I do find, though, with Palpatine is how many people actually thought of him as a bad guy.
Right.
Because if you look at it in the... Like, if you look at the prequels when he's telling the Senate and everything, everyone's, like, cheering. It's like... when he comes back, do you think there'd be some supporters going... I liked his political it's like they're like I actually liked his system of government. It's not many people. I don't know. That's just probably the law. And
we don't really get a good idea of what
people thought of
the ordinary people think of.
Yeah,
Emperor, yeah. Which is kind of like at the end where Rey was that old woman asked Rey who are you? What's your family name? And she looks at Leia and Luke. She's like, I'm Rey Skywalker. And I thought it would have been... Like, I think that was the better choice as opposed to...
Palpatine or something.
Saying Palpatine.
Or saying unknown one, or...
Yeah. I think saying Palpatine would be cool in the sense of, I will own this name and make it a name of good. But at the same time, it depends, because if that name is popular for being the worst guy in the galaxy, you don't want that name. It's dangerous.
But there are some people that would be like... Are you gonna bring back a fascism system? Because I enjoyed the fascism system. There's gonna be people out there in that universe. There is. People supported the Empire. People signed up and joined.
And you see all those supporters of like the Sith Empire in like this weird underground.
I think they're just cultists.
Yeah,
really, that's what I thought. But it was kind of bizarre, and I do want to also. Yeah, it was fairly bizarre. But let's go on to the generation thing because I want to talk about the Mandalorian. With Yoda's species...
Spoilers for the Mandalorian.
Spoilers for the Mandalorian. Yeah. Are those creatures, whatever creature Yoda is, are all of them sensitive in the Force? Are all of them Force, wielders? Because how's that baby, instantly? But then
You're asking the wrong person.
I know, because no one knows. I should be asking,
Literally no one knows.
If I asked George Lucas, he'd be like, I don't know.
Not even Dave Filoni knows. He's like, I do.
But it's a good idea to think that and this goes back to the individual species thing, individual Force wheels and then the generation Force wheels, is Yoda's species, all of them, if you go to their planet or wherever they are, I actually think they could be in a totally different galaxy. They could be, because...
Yeah, they'd have to be, if they have that level of power and to be undiscovered.
Yeah. They could be in the unknown region somewhere.
Yeah.
I don't know how Yoda would have gotten into the hands of... how he would have come across.
Yeah.
Do you think he would have just found his way?
I think he would have been like, you know what, we got to use this power for good. I'm going to create a Jedi Order with it.
Yeah.
And I think, he made that choice to create the Jedi Order and become a Jedi and et cetera, et cetera.
But I think, because the unknown regions is that's where the new Exegol planet is.
Yep.
Well, the one that was in Rise of Skywalker. Do you think the planet that Yoda's from and that baby, we don't know because it could have actually been a clone, because there's a cloning guy that brings it out or tells her that we need to get it back. Do you reckon that species is actually from an unknown region planet, or this is going to make everyone get pretty, I'm going to smoke some dope now, but is he from a different entity entirely, an entire different world, universe, outside of...
Man, you've been thinking about this a lot more than I have.
Yeah, is he actually, is his species, the embodied... Because here's the thing. Do you know about the Sang Vong Vu or whatever they are?
I've never heard of those three
syllables
in my life.
It's legend stuff. In Star Wars Legends, because this is also a theory as well, that Palpatine was actually not a bad guy, and he made the Death Star to defeat these special alien creatures that were coming.
Right.
And that was
okay, yep.
It's legend stuff. Don't worry about it. But
I would like to talk about the fact that Palpatine had sex with someone later.
Yeah, I know. But that's the one thing that bothers me. But what time was it? Before he looked like that, or was it after? Was it
there are some weird aliens, but he had a human son.
Yeah. It's did he as a teenager just knocked up with someone and then found out about it later?
Well, the son would have, because the son was like a regular middle-aged son. He couldn't have.
Yeah.
He would have had to have him in the original trilogy era. I would think for him. Oh, maybe not. No, maybe at the end of the prequel era, kind of. I don't know the timeline.
Well, I mean, he could have had his own little, like, you know, special swinger thing. I don't know, like his special little, like...
Do you think if you bring a black light into the Senate, what would you find?
Yeah.
Would you find the origins of Rey's father in that Senate? Just white patches.
Yeah. It's like, oh, what's going on here? But I reckon it would have been someone on Naboo, because that's where he's from. He's from Naboo.
Yes, right.
Padme Amidala. Oh, he knocked her up at one point at a party or something. But then that could also explain her power as well.
That explains her weird robot voice in the Phantom Menace.
Yeah.
She's just so shaken up by that experience.
Like, I saw stuff I didn't want to see. No, I did things I did not want to do.
Oh my god.
No, now it's getting a bit whack. But I actually reckon... But this also brings in the idea how the theory of Anakin being the creation of Sidious, that could have also been the same thing.
Yep. Yeah,
but then again,
that's true. Yeah.
Or she's just a backup plan.
Yeah.
It's
anything
can be anything. Anything can be anything.
Anything can be anything.
I mean, if R2D2 is a unreliable source of information, but then he's somehow able to give it all back to C-3PO, I mean...
Oh, we're talking about this now? I do want to talk about that. What did you think of C-3PO?
I loved his character in this one.
I really did, until the point where he got his memories back. Because I thought him getting erased, that was a good sacrifice.
Yeah.
And I just feel
it would have been so funny throughout the whole film, just being like, who is this? What are we doing? What's going on here?
I think it's a good level of humour and kind of sadness. It's like, wow, he's forgotten everything.
He gets treated so bad.
The way everyone talks to him. I do love that moment on the desert planet, the rip-off Tatooine planet, where C-3PO says something, and everyone kind of looks at him, he's like...
He looks away.
Is there something behind me?
Yeah, I bloody love that. Yeah, he's probably one of my favourite, like, out of the pretty much the pet or the side guys.
He's awesome, but I did not like how he got his memories back. I just thought that kind of undermined his sacrifice.
Yeah. Imagine if Chewie actually died.
I would have... I know everyone's like, oh, they shouldn't have... They should have just stuck with it, but I would have hated it if that's how he died.
Yeah.
I think if Chewie... I don't think it's the worst thing to kill Chewie, but I think if you're going to do it... Make it some powerful heroic sacrifice.
Well, in Legends, how he dies,
he gets hit by a moon.
Yeah.
Like that's epic.
Yeah, and
that's
he's like
massive.
I actually think he holds it or something. Or I don't know, whatever he does.
That's what I want to like. That's how I want Chewie to die. I don't want him to die in a crashed ship because Rey,
electrocuted it.
Yeah, had premature ejaculation.
That's another thing. Jedi... Actually, no, that's different. I'm thinking about mutants, how it comes in during puberty. Anyway. like, do they get their force powers during puberty? That'd be funny. Well, how old is...
Because babies have it.
Yeah, I know, but how old is Rey? Like, in The Force Awakens? She's fairly young.
I'm sure I've looked this up for legal reasons. Rey's 19.
Oh, really?
Hang on, what? Introduced as a 19-year-old woman in The Force Awakens.
Okay.
So she's like 20-something in Rise of Skywalker, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nah, because I thought it would have been like a puberty... Just because you mentioned the puberty thing, I'm like...
Yeah. Wow, she looks... I mean it's in the nicest way possible. In The Force Awakens, she looks older than 19.
Yeah, General Hux.
Right.
Imagine if he... Well, the thing is, I mean, when you see him in The Force Awakens, he's like pretty much the Hitler.
Yeah.
And then Last Jedi, he gets tossed around a bit. I think it would have been interesting if in Rise of Skywalker, he's like, you gotta come with us. And he's like, oh, fine. And he actually comes with them and helps them.
I think...
That would have been extremely interesting.
That would have been interesting.
That would have been a huge character turn.
It would make an interesting dynamic as well, because people don't entirely trust him. Like, is he now spying for the First Order?
Yeah.
And I just
thought it was so wasted how he just got bang shot.
it was kind of weird how just it's revealed he was a spy. He has that kind of... I thought his reasoning was weird as well. Like, I mean, he's not that great a guy, but like he's like, I don't care if you win. I just don't want Kylo to win. It's like, well,
if you join, well then it's like it'd be really funny. It'd be really funny if he found out Kylo helped him in the end and be like, damn it,
he still won.
He still won. No, I actually generally would have liked General Hux to stay with them.
Yeah.
He'd be with the Resistance.
I think he would be a more interesting character because of that. But instead, he gets shot.
He was a complete waste, I feel.
I did laugh at that moment though because of how far he flew. Did you notice that? Yeah. He gets shot and he goes like 10 meters back.
Yes, phew.
That's a really slippery floor.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, bro, but I liked his character in The Force Awakens because he felt like a Grand Moff, like a really wannabe Grand Moff Tarkin.
Yep.
And I was surprised he stuck around. I actually thought he was going to die on Starkiller Base.
Yep.
But it's interesting how he stayed until Rise of Skywalker. But I feel like he was so wasted.
He was
so wasted. What an interesting character arc it would have been if he's like, okay, I'll come with you, and he joins in on the adventure.
Yep.
Well, actually, what I found was really cool was how that Star Destroyer eradicated that planet. That was a really cool explosion.
It was a cool explosion. It was like an old school kind of planet destroying explosion. I like that. Everyone has a problem with the Star Destroyers having planet killing weapons, and I do feel like it does feel like the creators like, oh,
what are we gonna do now?
Yeah, they're trying to raise the stakes for the sake of raising the stakes, but I don't think you need to do that.
Yeah.
But I also, it's not like I don't buy that would be the... Like, I feel like the Emperor would be like, you know what, let's just make them all kill planets. It's fine.
Yeah. Let's also say about how the First Order, well, the new slate of, like, vehicles and outfits and everything, it's like how they bloody... decrease their technology. These Star Destroyers now are literally the old Star Destroyers, just with an attachment. They got motorbikes instead of speeders. Who genius was like, actually, I want wheels on this thing. Who's the genius behind that idea? And they went with it.
Put those wheel things in the sand. You know, in the sand planet. Put wheels on them.
Yeah, people, bloody hell. And I hated that thing where it's like, they can fly now.
You didn't like that?
I hate that because during the Clone Wars even, there were jetpack troopers.
That is true.
I mean, who's like, jetpacks exist now? It's like...
I didn't mind that dialogue, but I also think like, well, why... Are you that surprised, really? I feel like in this kind of world...
Have you never seen a jetpack before?
Oh, well...
We got flying guys.
We'll just shoot them, right?
Yeah. It's like, I loved it when he's like, flew around and it was smashed.
Yeah, that was funny.
There were actually good comedic moments in this one. There were a lot more good. It was a fun ride.
It was a very fun ride. I also think it was a very messy ride.
Yeah.
Plot-wise. Those first, 5 minutes where they introduce the Wayfinder, the secret planet, the Emperor, how he's been the voice for Darth Vader, Snoke, everyone in Kylo's head, how he wants Rey dead, like all that kind of all this information is thrown to us, and it's important information. It's stuff that it's like big reveals that's all just kind of clumped into one area in the first 5 minutes and given to us, and it just makes for a very kind of cramped opening, and then the rest of the movie, plot wise, it's very messy as well. I think this. And again, it comes back to they're trying to raise the stakes and raise the kind of intensity.
They're trying to make a big bang for the ending.
For the sake of making it a big finisher, But I think this movie definitely would have benefited from a much simpler story. That focuses more on Rey and Kylo and Finn and Poe. And even if... I like the adventure part. Yes. The whole adventure part was the best part, in my opinion. Yeah, and I agree, because then you get more character moments between the trio as well. Yeah. And I would have preferred for them not to include the Emperor, but I think even if you do include the Emperor, you can still have a simple story from that. What do you think about all the useless characters they inserted into this?
The useless ones?
So I'll start with the woman Finn meets on that planet with the Death Star.
I actually thought she was going to be his sister.
Right.
I would have thought, how cool would it be? He's like, oh, they're both deserter stormtroopers. And he says, mine's effing, la la la. And she goes, I'm effing, and it's like one number up.
Yeah.
I'm like, imagine.
I'm better than you.
No, but it's like, or like lower. It's like, imagine if they were brother and sister.
Yeah.
How.
That'd be crazy, but I also feel like that'd be a weird thing in the middle of the final movie. Just be like, oh yeah, here's his sister, bye. Like, that's not really something you introduce at that point.
It's something I would have done if I was in the Rams. Just because it would have made her feel a lot more important and a lot more... And that final battle be like, oh yeah, we're doing this together thing.
Maybe in a simpler plot, I think that would. But I think this is...
Oh, it was way too much. It would have been... It would have been like, oh, it's just thrown at us again.
I also feel like she is... like, I didn't hate her, but she is very unnecessary as a character. And, like, you can make the argument, well, Finn... It makes Finn realise that he's got to destroy what he did in the past. But I feel like you don't need another First Order deserter to do that. You can just have Finn... What if Finn has a heartfelt conversation with Poe about how he regrets his part... And
then yes, at the end. Yeah, I mean...
And then they kill Chewie in the process.
Yeah, they kiss, like, oh, where's Chewie? He's like, gets blown up.
Yeah.
It's like, oh god. But
like, don't you think that would have been much more of a better moment? Like, you can have these two characters we already care about, and you increase their relationship in a sexual level, sure, but even just in the friendship level of Finn confessing how he wants to destroy his past. Like, you don't need this other random character to do that. And, like, again, I didn't hate her. Like, she was fine.
I mean, she brought space horses. I mean...
Yeah.
Space horses.
What do you think of the space horses?
I thought they were just I thought they were just a new species just to throw in.
But I thought they were also unnecessary. I thought, when I saw the trailer, I guess I didn't really pay much attention, but I thought they were the alpaca things from The Last Jedi.
Oh, you thought... Yeah.
And I thought that would have been, oh, nice. That was a nice
bring them back
callback.
again, yeah. But no, they were space horses. I think it was just to give another plot idea to how they were not being jammed.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, we're using animals.
We're using space horses. I listened to this podcast, The Weekly Planet. They talked about this movie, and there's a bit, one of the hosts, Nick Mason, he goes, well, because they're riding the space horses, and the head officers and stuff, the Grand Moffs or whatever, are like, oh, we don't know we can't jam them because they're space horses. We can't. And Nick Mason suggests, why don't you just tilt the ship so they all fall off?
Yeah.
Because they're not strapped to the ship.
Yeah.
And as far as I know, there's no gravity pulling them to the outside of the ship. They could just fall off.
If bombs can drop in space, I mean...
See, I have an explanation for that.
Yeah, and I've heard probably the same thing. It's like, when they were released, they were going in a specific direction.
Yeah, and
space
they're going to continue going. Yeah.
Nah, but... I just remember that controversy was just so funny. That was the biggest thing.
Everyone complained a lot about that. I'm like, oh, well, it made for a nice moment. I don't know.
Well, cinematically, it was impressive.
Yeah.
But, still, there's parts here and there that in that movie which were quite...
Yes, yeah. What do you think of the new droid? Dio? Is that his name?
Yeah, I don't really care too much
I didn't think it was necessary either.
Doesn't matter.
I think he was...
It was just... him, I think him, the horse and everything were all, like, just, for merchandise or, like, just for the kids to get excited and go, I'm going to buy the new droid. Let me buy the new droid. Like...
Yeah.
It's just for money grabbing, and I don't mind that, but then again, he's unnecessary.
Yeah. I think it was a nice moment. He was a good character to show that Rey's a good person. There's a lot of moments in that where Rey heals a snake and like he feeds him oil.
Yeah, she's
but
different.
Again, you can have her do that to BB-8 or something. You don't need to introduce this whole new toy to do that.
Leia's scenes were a little bit hard. I know they had to work with what they got, and they did do a good job.
Given the circumstances, they were done amazingly.
Yeah.
And it's easy to tell sometimes when it's like, oh, you just got that from The Force Awakens. Yeah. But also, there were some lines she said where I'm like, where would you have used that in The Force Awakens? Like, it just kind of baffles me. Like, there was one point, I can't remember exactly what the line was, but it felt very specific to this movie and to the scene. And I was like, you couldn't have used that elsewhere, so how would you do that?
Yeah.
But I on the whole, I thought there was something really good.
I honestly thought they could have ended her in The Last Jedi.
Yeah.
but I felt like it would have been way too quick. It could have been in the middle of the film.
Yeah.
Just imagine that. It would have made Kylo's character so interesting if he actually killed her. Imagine that. But I think he has too much of it. It's a bit of mummy boy stuff.
I think the point of Kylo's character in The Last Jedi was he had that struggle with light to dark, and every decision he had to make, he always chose the light side. And that was kind of his character arc, so him not killing Leia was probably, part of that.
It was a good sacrifice Leia made.
Yes, yeah, I did like that sacrifice.
It was a better sacrifice.
Yeah. And, how she kind of waited until he died so they could both fade away. A part of me, when watching that, I was like, so does that mean she kind of went into him and she was a part of him, so when he died, they both died? Like, was she in him when he was kissing Rey? Was she kissing Rey in that moment? But then I look back on it, I'm like, oh no, it's probably just the Force because it's part of the same family, just waiting for them.
Well, she was probably using her good side as much as she could in him. Maybe some life energy thing.
Yeah.
How was Rey's Arya move?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That
was pretty cool.
That was cool. I liked that he didn't die at that point.
Yeah, I know. I was about to be. I was like,
I was like, you can't kill him now. You gotta be kidding me.
The sequel trilogy has the best sword fights, I think, out of the others, like out of any Star Wars.
Yep, I agree.
There's so much weight towards them.
Yes, a lot of people complain about that because they're laser swords. Like lasers technically don't have weight, but I think they look amazing.
Well, remember he said these are heavier than you think.
Yeah, but that's just the hilt.
Yeah.
A lot of the time, you'll see Kylo kind of wield his sword like a broadsword, as in the blade's heavier than the hilt, when really that wouldn't be the case.
Yeah.
But I still feel like these fights are a lot better than...
And the flips were so realistic.
Yeah.
How was bloody Rey... Like, the one when Rey flipped over the water, I was like, that was so real. Like, how do they do that to make it feel so authentic?
It wasn't
and real?
like Christopher Lee doing a somersault.
Yeah.
It was like you could believe...
Or Yoda just bouncing around like he's on some... like he's on bloody speed or something, just jumping around the place.
I did like the moment where she jumps and cuts the wing off the TIE fighter.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's just an incredible shot. And just... It's real. Again, it's realistic. I could believe her doing that.
I love how real these films... Like, I love how much... time and effort goes into the practical effects rather than the special effects. Like, it's like, wow, they put effort into this. They make it as real as they can.
Yep. What do you think of Harrison Ford returning?
He would have got on a huge paycheck.
Yeah, right.
It's like, we're not bringing Luke, but like we need to do something different here. Let's bring Han back. And it's like, how much would you want Han? It's like, well, you have to give me a big one for this one.
Ford paid for the Rise of Skywalker. Yeah, because he says, hey kid, to Kylo. I thought that was Luke. Like, it sounded a bit like Luke. It's something Luke would say. Because at the end of Last Jedi, he's like, see you around, kid. I was like, oh, it's Luke. And he turns around and it's Harrison Ford. I'm like, how'd you get him back in that studio?
That line, hey, I'll see you around, kid. It's like, I never saw you again. What a bluff.
Jokes.
It's like...
So you strike me down in anger, I will never leave you.
Yeah.
Oh, never mind. I'm never going to see you again.
Then again, that's just them trying to fix what The Last Jedi was going to... I would like to see the movie that would come off The Last Jedi.
Yeah,
I would have liked to have seen that movie. I think it could have been harder to watch, but... Yeah.
I would like to see... There's two things I would like to see that we'll never see. Like you said, a sequel to The Last Jedi that's respectful to The Last Jedi, but also a trilogy in which J.J. Abrams made The Last Jedi.
Yeah.
Like, I want to see his story, and I also want to see what The Last Jedi could have ended up into. Like, I want to see both of those, because I think they both could be great stories. But when you put them together, the way this retcons so many things from The Last Jedi is just so disappointing for me.
Yeah, it flows better with The Force Awakens so much.
Yeah.
If you take Last Jedi out, it's like, this feels right.
Yeah. And, like, it is a bit abrupt when The Force Awakens goes, oh, who's Snoke, who's Rey's parents, and The Last Jedi goes, it doesn't matter. But I also feel like that works a lot better than after that saying, oh, Snoke was important because he was the Emperor's creation, and saying, oh, Rey
he was
is
the backup
somebody.
plan, yeah.
I would have much preferred seeing Kylo Ren as the main villain for this movie.
Oh yeah.
Because I think the end of Last Jedi, where Kylo, it's almost like he turned good, but then he has this proposition that, like with Rey's, like we can make something equal.
Then that's where I want to bring in the idea of the Grey Jedi.
Yeah. I also think the Emperor's plan was pretty crap as well at the end, where he's like, Rey, strike me down and I will go into you and I will continue as the Empress or whatever. And then she doesn't, and he's like, never mind, I can just do this with you and Kylo. Like, if Kylo never came, she'd be fine, right?
He's a bit of a deceptive, I think a little bit of a deceptive twat, and you can see that in the prequels as well, where he's like...
that's true, but I just...
Help me, Anakin, I'm too weak.
Yeah.
Ah.
It didn't make sense to me.
I think we should jump onto The Mandalorian, because I think that's a much higher light. That show...
First off, do you want to rate movies and stuff?
We usually did it last time, so I'll rate it this time. So, Rise of Skywalker out of what? 10 or 5? What do you think? 5?
Yep, we could do 5. It's 5 what you normally do?
Yeah, we usually do 5. A 3.8.
Yep.
Because it is a mess still.
Yep.
But it was a fun ride.
Yes.
That's how I went. I walked out of the movie going, I mean... If you saw the Snapchat story by Alec, you can see but I was actually genuinely needed to go to the toilet. I was like, out of every, because I went with The Last Jedi, I'm like, I need to go to the toilet, so I went off. But with this, I'm like, I need to stay here. I need to stay here to see how this goes. Like that was the same with Endgame and everything. Yeah. It's like I need to stay here. So that's why I give it a 3.9, because it was a fun ride. It kept me going. It kept me wanting to watch, even though it has its complete heaps of weak points, but that's just because of what it came off.
I'm gonna give it a 3. That's just a 3 out of 5, because I did like it. I thought like it was a fun ride, but there were just too many disappointing aspects in this movie. I didn't really talk about it a lot, but I really hated what they did with Finn. I think he could have been such a great character. There's just a lot of missed potential. It's really messy. I don't like how they retconned all that Rey stuff.
Yeah.
But I also, at the same time, I really like Rey's character arc. I like her struggle with the dark side. I like Kylo's struggle with the dark and light side.
He's so much revived in this one.
Yeah.
He's revived from like the last 2 films so much. Instead of being a whiny bastard, he's like a actual general villain, cool guy.
Yeah. I like Poe.
Yeah.
I also, we didn't talk about this real quick. It almost made me cry when Chewie found out Leia had died.
Oh!
And like,
that
there's
was
that
the
one,
best,
it's one shot, Finn and Poe both look back at Chewie, and Chewie just collapses to the ground. He's waving people away. It's like all his family they're all gone.
Yeah, they're all gone. Everyone's gone.
And like that brought tears to my eyes.
He's banging the X-Wing and everything, and he's like, he's in a huge mess. And I was like, that is just the best acting from Chewie I have ever seen for so long. He was so good in this
No one's talking about that either.
No one's talking about it.
All the reviews, they're hating on this movie, but that is such a great scene.
The emotion in him is just unbelievable. I could not believe that. Like, I was really upset. I was like, bro, this is hard. This is crazy. But
I was expecting Poe to be like, no, but then he looks back at Chewie, and I'm thinking, I would... Chewie's been with her the longest. I would look back at Chewie too. I'd be like, oh shit, are you alright?
Yeah.
And obviously, no, he's not.
No, he's like falls apart, and he comes back later with Lando. I liked Lando coming back.
Yeah. I guess they didn't really promise a big role from him.
Yeah.
But he did have. But I think the third act is really messy, and they do a lot of big stuff for the sake of having a big finale, and that's why I'm not giving it above a 3.
I don't really like how all those ships came out of nowhere. I mean, they did, but it was good. Yeah. But when you look at the fleet at the beginning, like the Imperial fleet at the beginning, you're like, whoa, how are they gonna stop this? But they end up doing it, and it's like, well, that was a bit quick. I mean, here's the one thing no one's really talking about, I think, as well. There's a Star Destroyer out there with a planet-killing weapon.
Where?
Where? Like, remember when it blows up that planet?
Yeah. Isn't that the same one that was on the other planet?
Oh, was it?
On
Exegol?
Yeah.
Oh, it might have been. Maybe I'm wrong.
I assumed they flew out, destroyed a planet, and flew back in or something.
Maybe I'm wrong.
I need to rewatch it, I guess.
Actually, I guess I need to, because to see if it was the Admiral guy, or whatever.
Yeah.
I actually might be wrong.
Oh,
but then again, that was when we were first introduced to the Sith troopers, because they were in that. They were in that ship, and the Sith pilots, and it's like the whole new design and everything. And I think it actually was a female being the commander in that.
Yes.
I
think
don't know.
so.
I'm getting like I'm trying to remember because it was such a short moment. And I'm just trying to remember now because I remember all those ships there. They had the Sith troopers and everything there.
Yep.
So who knows? Maybe one was able to jet out.
Yeah.
Blow it up.
Yep.
And it's like, guys, we did it. Like imagine they call back. Guys, we did it. It's like, hello, hello, anyone there? All right.
Yeah.
They just zip off. But who knows? I could actually be wrong, and it could have been the main big ship. But we need to get onto the Mandalorian before
Real
we
quick,
take.
Knights of Ren were useless as well.
Yeah, I didn't give too much shits. They were no longer. When they were just, if they weren't in the Last Jedi, forget them. I don't care.
They weren't even strong. Like they. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, I don't care. But we need to move on to
Moving
Mandalorian
on. Yep.
because that. Are we going to talk about the series as a whole or go episode by episode?
I think series as a whole.
Yeah.
Because I think it works better if we talk about it like that.
Yeah.
And obviously full spoilers, which we did earlier.
Yeah, we just literally jumped right in, but
Yeah.
you know.
So what are your overall thoughts on this series?
It was. I have one gripe, and that's because there's not enough money in it. I felt like it felt like a lot. Like it felt really like a show.
Yeah.
So the thing with the animated shows, right, like the Clone Wars and stuff, it feels like movies because of how big the scale is. But that's what you can do with animation.
Yes. Yeah.
With this, it's like you've got a budget, so it's like when they went to Tatooine, I was like, where are those big like lumbering animals and stuff?
Yeah.
There's nothing really around except for that one dewback. For the next season, you need to like throw the money in.
Yeah.
You need to explore. You need to make the worlds bigger than they were. Because I felt like that forest planet they went to, I felt like that was just a park almost.
Yep.
And that's what the scale felt.
Yep.
It felt like the scale was a park. Tatooine felt like a joint that's like people are just there's only like 2 or 3 people around on Tatooine now compared to what it was before, where it's like everyone's there, it's a huge community and everything. There's like millions of people. It's like a city almost. It's like a desert city. And then you go there now, it's like, no, this is just your local shipping town. That's like how I felt. And then also that spaceport as well, getting blown up by only 3 X-Wings. I was like, I love how Dave Filoni was one of the X-Wing pilots.
Yes,
that was so
great,
cool.
Because I watched it with my parents and they didn't pick up on it, obviously. I was like, that's the guy.
That's the guy. I'm like, this is the guy that made... Well, pretty much, I feel like he's the guy that's like fixes Star Wars.
Fixed prequel era of Star Wars.
He made the Clone Wars so much like better. I feel like if George Lucas could have a child, it'd be him.
Yes.
Like he's like, I think George Lucas always also thinks of him as his son. Like he's like, if only he could make a movie. Like imagine what he could do. Dave Filoni is literally the king of Star Wars. He's just amazing.
And like I told my parents that, and obviously they're like, oh, okay, never mind.
Yeah, no,
I
but
don't
it's
care.
like all the younger people and all everyone who knows, like deep down, like he's like, you know, he's walking around with his cowboy hat or his, you know,
and he wears a
Commander
cowboy
Wolf
hat. That's awesome.
Yeah, or he's wearing a Commander Wolf shirt, just like walking around. He's like, yeah, how you going, bro? He's made Star Wars, like, and he's made the Mandalorian so good. I love Taika Waititi's involvement. He directed the last episode as well.
Yeah,
I couldn't believe that. I'm like, bro, and IG-11 was. He's a really he's
really great.
I was really upset that they weren't going to bring him back. Like that's what I thought. Like
when he got shot, I was like,
I
would have liked to see more of him.
And then they bring him back. I'm like, we bring him back. I'm like, he actually, and because you look at the posters of the Mandalorian, it's all those characters, you know. Stuff. I was so upset that they what species is he? The I have spoken. That was so sad when he copped it.
Yeah. I don't know what species he is. I've never seen.
It's like an Ungoy or something. He's those pig creatures from The Empire Strikes Back. It's the pig guys.
Pig guys. Oh yes, that's right. Because I watched Empire after.
Yeah.
And then okay. Yep.
It's one of those guys.
Yeah.
It's one of those species. But he was such an interesting character. I loved him, and it's cool how he worked for the Empire.
Yes. Yeah.
And
I like all the characters here. They have a past. Like you got obviously the Mandalorian. He's got his past with the super battle droids and all that.
Yeah, I actually hoping to see clone troopers during that battle.
Yeah,
but since we got Mandalorians, it makes sense.
Yeah, the shock trooper, that past. The guy played by Apollo Creed.
What's his name? Yeah, the guild guy.
Yeah, what's his name, man?
Yeah, he's a cool character. I liked how he was a bit like I like how his character arc really changed later on.
I liked it, and I thought it looking back, it does make sense.
He's
after Yoda.
He's like, I was gonna kill you guys, but since that guy did that for me, this thing needs to be safe.
Yeah.
It needs to be protected.
I do think though,
gives him some heart.
Where the show falls it down a bit for me is the fact that they set up this story at the beginning, and obviously they have the last 2 episodes to work on it, and then in the middle there's a bunch of individual kind of serialized episodes.
And I want to go back onto... Yeah, I do like that. I think because it's a TV show, you kind of have to do that.
And I like that as well, but it does make the actual story feel a bit kind of disconnected. And I would have liked to have these serialized episodes, but maybe a little bit more of a connection to... Because after a while I was like, are we even going back to that guy?
Yeah.
Like, I would have liked to see more development on him, and also more development on the actual villain at the end. Who's the name?
Yeah, he just kind of came in at the end.
I didn't find him a good villain. I think he was competent. I liked that he knew what he was doing, but there was not nearly enough screen time of him for me to understand him, for me to be feared of him.
Yeah, but what makes it really interesting is when he brings out the Darksaber. I'm like, he's wielding that, and I'm like, bro.
Yeah. Again, my parents didn't get that, and I'm like, see that.
Wasn't Sabine Wren the last person to have that?
Who's Sabine?
From the Rebels.
Oh, I haven't watched Rebels.
Oh, me neither, but I've seen stuff. I know bits and pieces, but...
I know what's interesting is like the head of the Mandalorians in the Clone Wars era had that sword, pre-Vizsla.
Yeah, it was...
and then it went to Darth Maul.
And then apparently was given to... Somehow it got into the possession of Sabine Wren.
Yeah, I want to see the story of that sword.
Yeah,
because when I saw him break, I was like, how did it get to you?
Okay,
how did it get to you?
And it's interesting because how did it get to you where... Because the Rebels is based between New Hope and Revenge of the Sith, but towards the latter part.
Yeah,
like
closer to New Hope.
I'd say closer to Rogue One.
Right, yep.
And I'm thinking, oh, so cool because Admiral Thrawn's in and stuff. See, the thing is, I really was hesitant about it because I'm like, oh, this is just Disney ignoring the prequels.
Yep.
But I think, because was the Dave Filoni behind it? Because I feel like Dave Filoni came in and he brought all Clone Wars stuff in, because that's when they bring Captain Rex and stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking to myself, I might give this a watch. Because the same thing goes for the Clone Wars. Very hard beginning. It's very hard to watch, but then like once you get into season 3, it's like, stuff is like, this is epic. But who knows? It might actually not be the one sword. There could be multiple swords.
That's true. Yeah.
But then again, he did say how the Mandalorian character, he's like, I know this guy's name. You know, he's I know this voice. He's been part of the Mandalorian stuff. Involved.
See, I want to see more of that. Like, he wasn't that developed a villain, and the fact that he had a backstory with the Mandalorian that we don't even see. Yeah. That's just, it feels like a missed opportunity to me, especially because in that last episode they have this massive slow-mo sequence of stuff we've already seen. Of his parents carrying him as a child to the bunker.
It was actually kind of dragged out, but I like how we saw more super battle droids, and that the fact that battle droids are still there.
I did like seeing live action. I know we saw them in Revenge of the Sith, but they looked so clean in this.
Yeah, they look so good. Amazing. Yeah, I'm like, can we please see more of these guys? Can we see more battle droids, but cleaner? And it'd actually be really cool to see. I think for the next season they should definitely bring in battle droids. Just kind of throw them in there. Because I did see a battle droid in I don't know if anyone picked it up. I was the only one that picked it up, but in the Rise of Skywalker, there's that one hanging in the wall.
Yes, I only picked it up because someone pointed it out to me in the trailer.
Yeah, I saw it in the trailer, because it was pointing out in the trailer. So the whole time I was watching that scene, I'm like, "Where's that battle droid? Oh, there it is! You know, hang up." So
I thought that was why, cause watching the trailer, I thought that was why C-3PO's eyes turned red. It's like he connected himself to the battle droid.
Yeah.
Because you know in Attack of the Clones,
where he
goes into a battle droid anyway.
Okay, here's the thing I hate about the new Star Wars movies. They keep introducing new aliens and never go full back onto the old ones. I know they're trying to keep it new and fresh, but cool to bring back, like, you know, the Twi'lek characters. Remember the chicken, the brother? I liked that episode. That was cool.
That episode felt very Clone Wars to me. Yeah. I loved it.
It was very cool.
It reminded me, you know, that Clone Wars episode where Asajj Ventress goes with Dengar and Boba Fett and Bosk on that train.
Oh, I really want them to bring back like a really famous bounty hunter. Please bring back like, even if you just show Dengar,
yes,
like or Bosk, you know, just kind of go.
Dengar's at the bottom of the barrel, but I'll take it.
Yeah, I'll take it.
So bad.
Comes up with a toilet paper wrap on. Like, there you go. And
again, like I saw him because I watched Empire recently with my mum, and I saw him, and I'm like, that's Dengar, and she's like, who? And I'm like, never mind.
Bring up the cast again. I just want to.
Okay, so we got
this. I gotta say, Pedro Pascal, he's in Wonder Woman. I did not recognize him at all.
Yeah, because he's got like a weird, almost bowl cut.
Yeah, and then he's got no facial hair.
Yeah.
I liked how his face was revealed, but
it was a bit anticlimactic because I already knew what he looked like. I was kind of hoping he'd be a bit scarred.
Yeah, a bit different.
But he just looked like the Viper before his head got smashed.
Yeah, I'm like, imagine if IG's like, now I'm gonna kill you.
Yeah, it just squeezes his eyes.
He just blows him up.
He's got those like weird claw hands. Just
like that'd be so funny if he did that.
But Pedro Pascal does amazing in this show. I think the fact that the like 99% of the show he's got a helmet on, his armor on, and I can tell what he's feeling all the time. His body language, his tone of voice, his reaction time, everything is amazing. And he does it so well.
I love how original this series is.
Yes.
This is what we need to get back to. Like, I think Baby Yoda is the most original idea you could ever come up with.
Yep.
I feel.
Yes. I think. Yes. Yeah. I think it is an original idea.
Who could think of that?
Yeah. Good point. And like, my mum actually thought it was the character Yoda as a baby. But then I'm like, oh no, this is set after Return of the Jedi.
Don't get the elders involved because they won't know.
My mum's like, oh, it's not the actual Yoda. I'm like, no, mum, it's not. Shut up.
It's interesting how this is 5 years after Return of the Jedi, and there's still Imperials around, and it's cool how we saw the Death Troopers again.
Yes,
and it's like
that was cool. Yeah. I was like, whoa.
Yeah, they're still around. They're still got Death Troopers, and you've got an Incinerator Trooper as a new like type of like infantry like enemy. Was interesting to bring them in because we never really saw Flame Troopers except for the Force Awakens, and it's like, oh, they actually were around during the Empire.
I think that armor's different though. The Flame Trooper armor is different from the Force Awakens.
Oh yeah,
it has weird red markings on it and stuff. It's
literally just a stormtrooper outfit with the red markings and a special special tank. I shouldn't say back to tank because that's what heals them, but special backpack I should say with the flame.
They're just walking around in Finn's weird rubber suit thing.
And it's cool how they show that they're kind of evolving. They still are evolving because like this is a new gun that we've got. I mean, you've seen these before, but
I really like the idea that even after Return of the Jedi, after Darth Vader and Emperor Palpatine are killed, there's still kind of Empire looking because it's so big. It wouldn't just disappear.
the whole time when they were the remnants of the Empire. Literally, they were fighting each other for control.
Yeah.
And you can see that because there's that Imperial, the guy with the chain and everything. He's in there and he's talking, and then it's just like, make sure you take a look, and it's like, he gets shot, and I'm like, oh, who's here? And then it's like, oh, there are Empire. So it's like it shows how violent and gritty the Empire. Like it's pretty much crumbling within itself.
Yeah,
and it's interesting to see that, and it was cool to see a TIE fighter again, and how he went up onto the TIE fighter and everything else cool, and all the characters in it are so well developed.
All the characters, all the cast, they're all great. There were some theories going around that at the end, this was like before the ending came out, but like he would have to give off Baby Yoda to someone else, and there was a lot of theories it would be either Boba Fett or Ahsoka Tano. And I was really crossing my fingers for Ahsoka.
I want to talk about Boba Fett. Oh, it'd be cool if we brought Ahsoka back. But she left after Return of the Jedi. There's a scene. I've seen the scene in Rebels where Sabine Wren, Ahsoka go looking for Ezra because he jumped into something with Thrawn. He jumped into like a special time jump, or like space jump, and they go look for him. And it's like, is she dead? Because we hear her in the Rise of Skywalker talking. Yeah. What an interesting. Sorry to bring back Rise of Skywalker, but when they when they're all talking to her.
So when Rey kissed Kylo,
and then when Poe
and Finn kissed.
No, but when they were talking to her, I'm like, oh, there's Ahsoka. I could tell this and that. And then you hear all these other females and other characters. I'm like, who are these? And you see the list and you go, Aayla Secura? Really?
Really? I haven't seen the list. Damn.
Barra Sophie? Really?
What?
Not Barra Sophie, sorry. Her master.
Luminara.
Luminara.
That makes a bit more sense.
It's like, really? Like, these guys? Mace Windu makes sense. Ben Kenobi, everything.
Again, that's just bringing back everyone for the sake of having a big finale, I feel. Like, it makes sense to have Obi-Wan and, I guess, Mace.
Plo Koon didn't speak.
He's more important than Aayla freaking Secura.
Neither did Kit Fisto speak either. I don't know. You have to look up the list of who spoke. Everyone's got different lists because no one's mentioned Mace Windu, even though you could easily hear him at one point. But back to what I was saying. Actually, it would be cool to see a second. But I want to talk about Boba Fett. The Tatooine episode at the end. You know when Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. chick. What's her name? When she was the bounty hunter that was shooting at them.
I don't know her name.
I didn't like how the kid got killed.
Yeah.
Didn't like that too much.
I mean, I guess he wasn't that developed a character for
it would have been cool. I actually thought he was going to join in on the adventure with Mandalorian.
Yeah. I think that would have been a good partnership because Mandalorian's very kind of no-nonsense and he's kind of like, oh, I'm a young kid, I want adventure and stuff. And that would have made good chemistry.
With Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I'm just going to call it Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. chick. The Asian one that was in Tatooine that they were flying at.
Yep.
That end scene where you hear the chink, chink.
You reckon that was Boba
chink,
Fett?
and I saw the feet, and it had the 2 spikes that Boba Fett has,
Ooh.
and I was thinking, oh god, is he gonna come back? And then even when I saw the trailer for the next episode, which was going to be the one where they did that bounty heist,
yeah,
I thought in the trailer because you could see footsteps. I actually thought that he was going to encounter Boba Fett on that ship.
Right.
I want Boba Fett to come into that series. He's got to appear for season 2.
He has to. When Mandalorian as a kid gets saved by that other Mandalorian in like you see a shadow, and it has like Boba Fett's antenna. I thought for a second it was Boba Fett.
Well, I saw a post on Instagram and it was pretty bad because it saw that I saw a bit where his helmet was going to be his helmet was coming off.
Yeah, right.
Like it was like to show like, oh, these are the biggest spoilers, and it had a Boba Fett looking. They had the Mandalorian look at him. I'm like, does Boba Fett like come in and like have a fight with him and it's like about to take off his helmet?
Well, surely we'll get that in season 2.
But what I found out is Boba Fett's not really a Mandalorian or Jango.
No,
they're knockoff.
They just use their armor and stuff.
Yeah. The whole series as a whole's good. I love revisiting planets.
I do really like how it is kind of small scale, and it's especially easier to appreciate after Rise of Skywalker, and it's kind of a nice change of pace. Just it's not big.
Also the setting, also time setting as well.
Yeah.
I love refreshing going back to old, like,
yes,
the original trilogy kind of space.
Yeah.
Like, with all the technology and everything. It just feels quite kind of... And I love how they keep referring to the New Republic, because we know the New Republic's formed at the Battle of Jakku.
Yep.
So, it's really interesting hearing Empire and Republic in the same, like, sentences.
Yeah. That is... Because they never worked together before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, it's interesting hearing, like... But it makes the Empire seem so small now. It makes the Empire feel so like, oh, they're still around, but they're not really. Oh, how funny is it when the 2 scout troopers? Oh. I love their moments. Like it makes. I love it when stormtroopers or any like. We got a bit of it in Rise of Skywalker where they talk about Knights of Ren. Cool.
That was funny. And
I'm like,
funny.
I love how stormtroopers when they talk to each other. They did it more in the Force Awakens. I felt.
Yeah.
But how cool is it when they're on the
speed bikes? They have actual characters now? And they're
what?
Like,
they're so bored. And one of them's like, just starts trying to shoot the little thing.
And
it keeps missing. It keeps missing. And then the other guy's like, does it himself. And they keep missing. It just shows how they're like, it makes it so like...
It's such like an inside joke with the people who always make fun of how bad the original stormtroopers are. And I thought it was going to be like, because he's kind of the more serious one, I thought he was just going to get his gun out and shoot it and be like, now you can stop. But they both miss. It's so funny.
And I like how I think one of them thought they shot, and that's why they both put them away.
Right.
It's like they can't see shit.
Yeah.
No, but it's also really funny how like he gets his finger bit, and it was just a really cool conversation.
I did hate how he kept punching Baby Yoda. That hurt me.
Yeah, I was like, how dare you fucking do that?
Like, if you do that with a real baby, it's dead.
Yeah.
It's not living.
It was such a... it was such a cool moment. And then you just hear that IGA coming in was so funny.
I loved IG-11 coming into the town.
And he shoots everyone.
Yeah, and
he shoots that one with the Jawa, and the Jawa just looks going.
Yeah, Jawa like
what?
It was amazing. And when they start shooting him, he just turns his body around, then deflects the bolts or whatever.
Yeah, those IG droids are so cool.
And his sacrifice was good as well.
Yeah,
I thought that was good. And when the Mandalorian's like, you can't die, we need you.
It's cool how it's like it ends how it began with IG-11
dying. Yeah,
but it ends with like
instead of him trying to kill the Yoda.
Yeah, it's like him protecting it. Yoda, It was just it brings like the whole series felt full circle at the end. I love that. That's the best when it comes to shows.
And it's so interesting how Taika is able to create a real
heartwarming,
emotional, almost a character arc, even though the character arc itself is just this character getting reprogrammed. It's not an actual character arc, but it feels like
in a short period of time,
this character has changed, even though technically they haven't changed. They're just it's essentially a new character.
What's gonna happen with that that Mandalorian girl, the armor making one? What's gonna happen with her?
I reckon we'll see her again, but
she fought off those stormtroopers, and then it's like I thought she was gonna die there, but it's like, ooh.
I think she will find a way to escape, and then she'll track.
How cool was it? I actually noticed this when she slapped one of the stormtroopers' helmets, and it broke that part there. You can actually see the guy's face inside, and I actually saw his teeth and everything all bloodied. And it's such a gritty. It's really hardcore. Like when the stormtrooper heads on the spikes at Tatooine. It's like this is like the Star Wars that everyone wants. Like the more older people, I think.
Yeah, I want to see because it's made for people who are kind of nostalgic for that era. I do want to see more gritty fights like that. I know we probably won't get them because it's almost a kids' show.
Music's so good in it.
Like this. Oh, we'll talk about that in a second.
Yeah.
Because kids can watch this, so they probably won't be too brutal of fight scenes. But I do want to see more stuff that's like actually, because you don't see, because the lightsabers, they don't make anyone bleed. They're just like, even when Kylo got shanked, it's like there's barely any blood. It's just tissue. It's just burnt tissue. Yeah. So it's never really gruesome. But I want to see, because she had a hammer. I just want to see someone getting hit in the face with the hammer and their nose just like break it or something like that.
One thing I did hate about when the stormtroopers get shot and everything, you don't see any blast marks.
Yeah.
But that's just budget reasons, I think.
Yeah.
That's just a lot of budget stuff.
And it's kind of like a blink and you miss it thing, so...
Yeah.
I guess they prioritize. On the whole, I think the show also, it looks amazing. The cinematography is excellent.
It's like, it's got that real Western music. It's like the Western of stuff. It's so...
And the original Star Wars was kind of a Western genre. It was like, what if you made a Western in space?
Yeah.
And so it kind of harkens back to that. And again, the score, it's an original score. It's not
not new, like...
It's not like a parody of John Williams. It's its own thing.
Yeah, and it fits so well.
Yeah.
Just everything about it There's so much positivity about it. It's so good. I mean, I gotta say the dialogue choices can be a bit corny and cringy and stuff. And there's a few parts there and the lack of... There's this and this, but... It's just so good. Like you can honestly, I was watching it and I was like, some parts were getting me a bit, that's a bit corny and this and that. Oh, he comes back and this and that. But then it's like, but at the end of it, you're still feeling like, oh, this is awesome.
Yeah. I was gonna say something. I completely forgot. Talk for me.
What was that planet? The one with the ATSD? That was cool with the dog people.
Yes.
That was cool. And I enjoyed. I like the first 3 episodes. Feel like the pilots. So they all kind of like cram into one. Oh, the Trandoshans. We saw Trandoshans again.
Yeah.
They came down, jumped Mando. That Rhino thing was cool. The Jawas of the egg. That was hilarious.
There was another binocular jump scare thing.
With the Tusken Raiders.
Yeah, I anticipated that because of A New Hope. I was like, oh, they're gonna do the same thing. Yeah.
I love the Tusken Raider part. That was so good. And then I love it when they just bring back so many things. And it's a show, but they're recalling the movies. It just shows how much that this one really fits in.
It is very much a cinema level TV series. It feels like some parts of it can belong on the movies.
I think Mandalorian's far more accessible since it's on Disney Plus, and you've got all the movies on there as well, and all the shows. So I think the Star Wars movies have much more accessibility, other than other things like the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Like you got the Daredevil, like you got them. Well, they're not anymore. They're not really
And the thing is,
progressing with that, but that feels quite. Even though it's the same universe, it's very disjointed. It's very out of it.
Yeah.
And Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. annoy me as well.
Like you said, The Mandalorian is accessible, and it's also, I feel like a potential problem for future Marvel Disney Plus shows is that, particularly with like WandaVision, they're going to tie directly into the movies, and a lot of people might not watch the shows, and so if it ties directly into the movies, it's going to be kind of confusing.
Don't do that with Mandalorian. Do not tie it into the movies. You can't do that. That's
what I like about The Mandalorian. Yeah. It's linked to the movies, but it's not like you have to see The Mandalorian to understand the movies and vice versa.
It's just in the universe. It's in the and it's just so clever about it. It's so original about it. And I love bringing back like that ship that he flies is from the Clone Wars and everything.
What the hell was I going to say?
You still can't remember.
I know. As soon as we finish this, I'm gonna forget. I'm gonna remember and be like, "Wait, turn the mic back on."
Yeah.
I can't think of it. Anyway, do you want to give the show a rating?
I just feel like there's so much more you can talk about it.
What more do you want to talk about?
Well, I just like how you see so much about like the life in Star Wars. Life Day. How funny was that at the beginning? He's like, "I hope I make it for Life Day."
Yeah.
It's so like I love how and they bring back like. You know, the village and stuff, how people live in that society. And with the Baby Yoda stuff. I think we should definitely talk about that.
Right.
I like the direction that they're going now. Like, you hear it, like, there's, like, you gotta go to the planet. Like, and how he, like, gets the marking. I didn't really see it too well. I thought he was gonna get, like, a Baby Yoda mark. Like, I think he was gonna get a Yoda mark, like, the species, but he got, like, a different one. It was for, like a father or nurturing kind of mark. Like, I think the mark for the Mandalorians means, like, and how cool it is when the Baby Yoda's got the little necklace for him. He's like, I thought I'd never see this again.
Also, I know everyone's talking about it already, but Baby Yoda is the cutest fucking thing
Oh my
as well.
God. Bro.
It's the joy of my day.
Seeing that on my
Yoda
feed.
In the show.
Yeah.
The best moment when IG-11 is riding into town with Baby Yoda strapped, and Baby Yoda's like, ah! He's like, he's having fun. I'm like, yes.
Yeah,
and I love there's a bit in the 4th episode maybe, when they go to that forest planet.
And
he's like, stay here, and the doors open, and you just reveal Baby Yoda standing next to him, like,
just wants to come along with the ride. It's such. That's what I mean. It's gonna. I know it will die eventually, but as in like the meme and everything, and the love for him will slowly decline.
My love for him isn't linked to any memes or anything. I just think he's
generally
cute.
He's cute, but
and like it's a well done animatronic as well. It's really
and CGI as well. He's like a mixture of both. It's very good how they do it. And I just think it's so original. It's the most original thing I've ever thought that Star Wars could ever think of doing.
Yeah,
and it'd be cool if I don't know how many seasons this is gonna get, but when we finish with the Yoda stuff. And if we actually do see the planet with all of the Yoda species on it, or as I was saying before, could it be in the unknown regions? Could this be out of place? Wherever it is, it's going to be really cool to see. And I don't want them to just end it with the Yoda. I think they need to add something else new to it to keep it going, some new task.
Yeah.
And I think that's where they could probably. I reckon they should bring Boba Fett later in.
Yep.
If they do ever think about bringing him back,
I think they definitely should. Yeah.
It should be for like. After the whole Yoda situation's over,
Yep.
They bring him back, and it's like, okay, this is the fight between them two, and I want them to keep bringing back some characters, like the shock trooper character, the guild guy.
She's really good as well.
Yeah, she's cool. Yeah. She's a really good actor, really really cool character. All of them are. It'd be cool for him to visit it'd be cool if he saw that chick again that he had a thing for. The villager woman.
Yes, I didn't find her that interesting, but I did like the episode because I liked how it treated the Mandalorian as a character and his humanity.
You know what's gonna be really cool if we get those bounty hunters back.
Which ones?
The ones that were strapped on the ship.
Right. Yeah.
They're left in there and they're all sitting around. I'm like, if they break out of there, they're after the Mandalorian. It would be cool to see them again. I'd like to know...
I want to see the devil guy fight the shock trooper.
Oh, yeah.
How good would that be?
But I want to know more about his past. I think it needs to get slowly revealed. And I need to know what his connection is with those bounty hunters, because that woman...
Yes.
The Twi'lek woman. I love how that place gets blown up. It's so funny.
I did find it kind of that whole flashback scene in that final episode.
Yeah.
I found it a little bit unnecessary, mainly because, I mean, we already see him get put into the bunker by his parents. They leave him. I assumed from that the Mandalorians would save him and bring him up as a Mandalorian. And then when they showed that, I'm like, oh, well, you're not really showing me anything I didn't think. Like, from context, I kind of assumed that that's what happens next. Because there's, normally if you're going to fill in that gap, you would throw something different that kind of negates the present, if it makes sense. Like you would say, oh, well, he got saved by this person, and then through this series of events, he found the Mandalorians. But the fact that, like, if
it's
they
just right off the bat.
Yeah, if they didn't show that at all, I would have been like, oh, so the Mandalorians, they find him and raise him.
I was just really hoping. I was really just hoping for that when the droid gets when the super battle droid gets exploded. I was so hoping for a Republic gunship to get the green laser and just like literally destroy it. Like I was hoping to see some clone troopers. Like it'd be cool if they weren't CGI and there were these outfitted.
Yeah.
I just feel like there's so much potential with that Clone War, like the Clone Wars era, is to bring in with the practical effects that they're reusing now.
Yeah.
I mean, with a super battle droid, you kind of got to do CGI. I can respect that, but when clones, it's like I know they're all got the same face, but surely just I've seen cosplayers do outfits,
amazing stuff,
amazing outfits. You could easily. How cool it would be
on a budget as well. Like,
how cool it would be to see Captain Rex in flesh, real armor, takes off the helmet. I mean, it's a clone. Like it's
just
the face.
dual wielding his pistol.
Yeah, it's the face of the guy who played Jango Fett. It's the fat face, but he's got like different haircut and everything.
As in no hair.
As in no hair.
Rex has no hair.
Yeah,
right?
bald. Yeah, bald. I think he had yellow, or maybe that was a different one. But
he might have had like a yellow, kind of really short, like a yellow buzz cut.
Yeah, yellow buzz cut. I think that's what he had. But because whenever I think of like Captain Rex, Commander Cody, and all those guys, I just think of like the Clone Wars look of them. I don't think like I don't think of how would they. Yeah, he's got like a yellowish
cut kind of
but
and then he has a white beard.
I'm like
he's just dipped his face into snow.
Yeah, no, that's the Rebels look. But yeah, go down. We'll go down. I think it could be toys. Are those cosplayers? Click on it, bro. Imagine seeing that.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it would look more like but imagine seeing that like in real life. They could so do it. You can just get a cosplayer to come in and be like, "Hey, I'm Captain Rex guy."
I'm Captain Rex guy. That's his dialogue. We got the dialogue for you, Mandalorian.
That's what I mean. Dave Filoni's like...
I remember what I was going to say.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's amazing how this show... all the episodes fit a really similar tone and theme, and the characters are so consistent.
Yeah.
Despite each episode being directed by a different person.
Yeah, oh my god. I didn't think about that.
And it's such a weird comparison to the sequel trilogy, Force Awakens, Last Jedi, Rise of Skywalker, because they're all... It's
so inconsistent.
Abrams, Johnson, Abrams, but it's very inconsistent.
Yeah,
but
very
this
different.
is like so many different people.
And it's Bryce Dallas Howard directed.
Yeah.
Like, Jesus.
Which one was her? That was the...
Forest one.
Forest one, yeah. Okay, yep,
so, Dave Filoni did a few, but he didn't do as many as I thought he would.
Taika Waititi's episodes were the best, I think.
How many did he do? He did 3 or 2.
He did that last and then maybe 1.
I think he might have done the second... No, he did the third one, I think, with the egg.
Yes.
That feels more...
that was the second one.
Oh, was the egg the second one? That feels Taika Waititi-esque.
Who directed what episodes of The Mandalorian? I misspelled so many things.
Yeah.
Oh, Dave Filoni directed all.
Well, I mean, I'm not disappointed with that.
Let's go to Wikipedia, the most resourceful. Wow, that gives me literally no information. If I go to IMDb, I'm sure it'll tell me.
Yeah, IMDb will do it. But no, that's actually one of the best things to talk about is how that is the...
It all feels like it's part of the same vision. And I think, is it Dave Filoni's vision or like Jon Favreau's vision? Do you know who had like...
I think Dave Filoni has the most control, honestly. And I think they're all like, please Dave Filoni, just do it for us.
Yeah. How short the episodes are, seen as
I felt like some were fairly long.
Yeah.
In my opinion, I definitely wouldn't go longer with their length.
Okay. I just feel like this is an alright length if you release them all at once. But if you're going weekly, like to compare it to something that was like Watchmen, finished recently. That was a weekly show. Those episodes were like an hour long.
Oh yeah.
And I know
Game of Thrones is a bit different, but yeah.
Yeah, but like I feel like that works for a weekly show.
Wait, hang on. How many episodes did? Wait. Oh no, season 7 had 7 episodes, didn't it, for Game of Thrones?
Oh, that had 6. No, 7. Yeah, and 8 had 6. Yeah.
Oh, because I thought season 8 had 8 episodes. I'm like, they did a better job. They're like way better, and they had less money. No, they're gonna get shit ton for this, and they gotta really. But I don't want them to lose what they've got. Like I don't want them to be like rely so much on what they can achieve.
I want them to keep this kind of small scale,
but still when they go to the planets, make it feel like it's what we've seen in the originals or the movies. So it feels more in the universe, just a little bit more.
Yep. So Dave Filoni directed the first episode.
Yeah.
Rick Famuyiwa
did the second
episode. The first episode I thought was quite good.
Oh yeah.
I thought, especially at the end when it reveals the Baby Yoda, I thought that was really good. Third episode directed by Deborah Chow.
Okay.
I don't remember the second or third episodes that well. I remember the second episode because of how Yoda lifted the big.
I forgot about that actually. I can remember like more of the later ones.
Yeah. So Bryce Dallas Howard did the fourth episode.
Yep.
Dave Filoni did the 5th episode.
Yeah, that felt Dave Filoni-ish. I didn't like that lady though, but I know what they were intending with her.
Yeah. Rick Famuyiwa directed the 6th episode.
Yeah.
That felt like a Dave Filoni episode to me, funny enough. Deborah Chow did the 7th episode, and Taika Waititi only did 1, which was the last episode.
Oh, okay, interesting.
Yeah. And
that was like the strongest I felt with emotions.
Yeah. Yeah,
he's clever. Yeah. He's a smart director. He's really smart.
Taika doesn't seem like the kind of guy who would nail emotions.
I feel like he did. Really I feel like he would have done the episode with the rhino. That's kind of what I felt he would have done.
Yes.
I just because the egg part.
Yeah. Yep. I think he would have done one of the individual serialized episodes. That seems more like him. But yeah, no, he did a good job. He did a good job as IG-11. I don't know if it was...
I loved his voice as IG-11, yeah.
I didn't recognize him.
No, I did. I easily recognized it because I knew he was playing him so well.
I knew he was playing him, but I was like, that doesn't sound like Taika. I don't know why.
Actually, no, a lot of people were saying it doesn't sound like Taika. I'm like, that's Taika. I can hear it. They modify the voice.
I think it is the modifier.
No, I can hear Taika really well.
Yeah.
But
that's so weird. Yeah.
But if other people can't, that's
good.
That's good. That's good. That's what you want. It's like
I don't want to hear Taika.
It's one of the best live action Star Wars shows we've gotten, and we need more of that.
Yeah.
I was hoping Kenobi to be a series, but it looks like it's going to be a movie now.
Oh really?
I think. Or was it a series?
I thought it was announced as a series.
I can't remember. I thought it was announced as a movie. Unless I might be dreaming.
It's Kenobi.
Or I'm having a nightmare.
Movie.
Could be a series. You're probably right.
When is the Star Wars Obi-Wan Kenobi series on Disney?
Yeah, it's a series.
Yeah.
It's a series then.
I'm looking forward to that.
Oh, I'm excited. One person was saying to me that it's unnecessary. Like, why do it? Another side of me is like, I get that, and then I'm like, but it would be cool to see.
Yeah.
Just give it a crack.
I mean, why?
Give it a shot.
Like that's the thing. People do. Yeah. People often complain like about unnecessary things, but it's not
the Solo movie. It's like, a Star Wars story. We've got the Rogue One that was awesome in my opinion, and then you get Solo, and that still haven't seen Solo, but I've heard how much backlash and how it wasn't just good, and I'm like, yeah, but you always got to give a chance for something.
Yeah, and
that's what I think Star Wars is. I think that's kind of the death and also the revive of Star Wars at the point now, because I feel like Last Jedi kind of killed Star Wars, and then when the Rise of Skywalker came back, everything kind of went back up, and Mandalorian threw it in the ceiling, and then after Rise of Skywalker, everyone's really like, don't know what to think about it. I mean, I've got my opinion. I was okay with it. Other people are hating on it way too much.
The future of Star Wars is in Disney Plus.
It is.
And if the Disney higher-ups, if the Disney overlords respect
the aliens plugged into these machines with these big ears, and they're like
big Mickey Mouse ears.
They were like, alrighty guys, we're all plugged into the brain of Walt Disney.
If they trust these independent directors, the Filonis, the Jon Favreau, the Taika Waititis, They can make some really good shit.
Yeah, and I actually want these directors to stay with Mandalorian.
Yeah.
Don't just get
definitely.
a whole new batch of people. Keep with these people.
Yeah.
They know what they're doing. Dave Filoni, he's got George Lucas like in his ear going, "Oh, you know what you're doing." Like he's like the apprentice of the master.
Yep.
You know. But yeah, I think that's it.
I'm gonna give Mandalorian 4 out of 5.
I'm gonna give it a 4.3 out of 5, just because there are a few parts where it's a bit dialogue wise.
I think
gets a bit on my head, but it's for everyone.
It is for everyone.
It is for and that's the thing. At the end of the day, Star Wars is for all. It's got such a huge range for the audience. You got kids, you got your even elderly people are like, I like the Star Wars movies.
So I give it a 4 out of 5 just because I don't. The plot does feel kind of disconnected to me at times.
But then again, it's a series.
It is a series.
So,
but like, if you can have a series and have an overarching story, kind of, they could.
I think with every series I've watched, like all the Netflix, I love the Marvel shows. They're like, they're my favorite. I can't get enough of them, except for Iron Fist and Luke Cage are a bit there. But yeah, they do deviate a lot. They do have their own little stories in each episode. Yep. And I just think of that as like a TV show thing.
Yeah, fair enough. I often found myself going, where are we going with this? Like, when are we getting back to the story?
We're getting back to the main point.
And I also feel like that final villain, he's a bit underdeveloped. But I'm looking forward to what he has to offer.
What is he going to bring to the table?
He has good promise, but I don't think he was really presented well in this season. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to next season. I think it's an excellent show. And I hope it really builds on what they've established, but they still keep the same tone and the same level of character. Keep it original. Keep it original. Keep it good. You know?
Yeah, keep it going. Get us to see more Mandalorians.
Don't be like, oh, Mandalorian's a Palpatine. Don't do that. Like, that's
don't make Mandalorian suddenly be homosexual.
Yeah, don't make him kiss Kylo Ren.
Don't imagine it at the end of it. Oh my god, I was waiting for that shock trooper girl to like him.
Yeah, me too.
And I was actually waiting for her to kiss him. I'm like,
I'm glad.
I'm glad. Just don't do that.
They work better as friends.
Yeah, no, the whole thing. Actually, I kind of like them as frenemies at the beginning.
Yes.
That they kind of
I did like that fight because they were so evenly matched and they just both end up on the floor.
And then you got Baby Yoda's just like
got the soup.
Baby Yoda's the best comedic relief at all. He is the best thing. Yoda, do the thingy. He's just like
he's waving. Oh, so
I'm like, bro, this is so and it's such a No, it's gritty, it's hardcore, it's everything, it's all in there. It's what we need. All right, that's been us too.
That has been us too.
Thank you guys for listening to this podcast. Be sure to watch Rey kiss Kylo over and over again, and imagine Palpatine having babies.
I'm gonna go look at Rule 34 now at all the Reylo stuff. Tell us your thoughts. What do you give these? What do you give these two? What do you think of Star Wars right now? Just comment whatever. Tell me how to improve this podcast channel, please.
Please tell us
support
our opinions. Tell us our opinions are wrong about the Rise of Skywalker.
Please make us hate the movie.
Yeah, make us hate ourselves for liking the movie. That's all the Star Wars fandom is good for.
Yeah, that's it. I need to watch Clone Wars again.
Yeah. Well, it's that time of the day again.
Yeah. Oh, gotta get back up. Oh, season 7. Actually, we'll just leave it now.
Yeah, we'll talk about that later.
No, I'm not talking to you, Siri.
All right. Well, thank you guys for listening. Like, subscribe, comment, and peace.
Yes. Peace. Wear your seatbelt.